Hello and welcome to the Little Likac Podcast. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the United Kingdom, and this is a knitting and crochet podcast. Today is Monday the 28th of August, it's about 4:45 p.m. It's a little bit dingy out there actually, it's clouded over slightly. It is a bank holiday Monday, so it's August 28th 2023 and this is episode 58. I just looked it up, literally just looked it up and it's gone out of my head. I think this is episode 58. I get it wrong every time. This is episode 5624. It is episode 57. Episode 57 of the Little Likac Knitting Podcast. Great start, Amanda. Great start. So yes, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my podcast. If you are a new viewer, thank you for finding me, and please stick around. I hope you enjoy what you watch, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for keep coming back. So it's been a few weeks since I podcast, and a lot has happened in that time. So it's been 3 or 4 weeks, can't remember exactly how many. I suppose it's probably been about 4 because I've been to Devon, I've been to Egypt, I've been to Cairo in Egypt, Luxor, I've been to Sheffield, I've been all over the place. So I thought I would gather everything together, do a little podcast, and I'm really hoping that now I will get back into my fortnightly routine. So what have I got to show you today? I have got 2 finished objects to show you in the flesh. Another finished object that I can show you pictures of because it has been gifted, and sort of some part finished objects. I've also got some acquisitions and some works in progress to show you. So on with the show. Right, let's start with finished objects. So last time I saw you, I said that I had got 2 pairs of socks that needed knitting in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I got both pairs done. So I'll start by showing you pair that is a gift for a friend for his birthday, and that's this pair. Ooh, I've had to cut out some blockers from cardboard. Alright, so yes, these are for a friend's birthday, and I am seeing that friend tomorrow, so the deadline was tomorrow. I actually had these finished last week though. Did I finish them while we were in Egypt? It's all blurring. I think I finished them in Egypt. Anyway, I definitely knitted on them in Egypt, cast them on in Egypt, and I think I finished them in Egypt. So they look quite big because I did them on 2.5mm needles. Now I normally knit 64 stitches for a medium pair of socks, 64 stitches on 2.25mm needles. Now these are for a man, and I would quite often go for 72 stitches. But I decided to keep it maybe a bit quicker for myself, to stick with 64 but go up a needle size, and he's a size 8, so, and I'm a size 8 as well, so these are big on me in respect of they're not as tight as I would normally wear, and hopefully they will fit him. So yeah, I think I did about 18 rows, something like that, of 2x2 ribbing. Did quite a long leg because I wanted to get lots of the colours in, heel, flap and gusset, and yeah, just the standard tote. So I don't follow a pattern when I knit plain socks like this. I've knitted so many pairs of socks over the years that I kind of just know what I'm doing. Apologies as well if this is a bit quiet. Somebody did comment on the last video that the sound wasn't very good. Now that might have also been partly because I had the door open last time because it was very warm. I will also try and make sure when I'm editing, I'll try and make sure to turn the volume up, which is what I usually do, and I think I forgot last time. I just did like 1 row of, well no, actually when I cast on using the yellow at the very, very top like that, and then it goes down through the colours. The yarn that I used for this is the Stylecraft, I want to say, is it Stylecraft Head Over Heels? And the pattern, or the colourway, is a Stuart Hillard colourway. And he's a designer who I believe won the Great British Sewing Bee a few years ago, and he's also a quilter. I think he's more famous for his quilting than his knitwork. Anyway, and it is Show Your Pride and there are two versions of the Show Your Pride yarn. One was Be Bold and one is Be You, and I can't remember which one this is. Hopefully I'll put it down on the screen below. Anyway, so those are finished, got those done, and they are ready to give to my friend tomorrow. I am seeing him. We are going to London for the day. We are going to go down to the Globe Theatre and we're going to watch Macbeth, which I can't wait, and have some dinner, and yeah, just really looking forward to that night as a nice day with a friend. Now the second pair of socks that I had to get finished, and the deadline for these was Wednesday, today is Monday, was the last pair of the Housemate socks, and you might be able to see behind me all the other Housemate socks. So this was the sort of almost like Frankenstein pair where I was using up all the leftover yarn I had done for the other pairs of socks. Now I finished these this morning actually. I grafted the toes together. And so this is the final pair of the Housemate socks, and these are for my daughter Eloise. So the pink yarn is by Rosie's Moments, and it's actually glow in the dark. And I got 2 skeins of this that I got in a swap at Christmas time. Please excuse the croaky throat, by the way, the croaky voice. I have got a cold. I went down with this cold. I started to go down with it on Saturday, and then yesterday I felt really lousy with it. Feeling a bit better today. But I have obviously got a croaky throat, croaky voice. Anyway, so yes, so Rosie's Moments for the pink yarn. That's glow in the dark, so all these bits that are in white actually glow in the dark. Now what I'm going to do this evening, and this is the reason why I cut out some sock blockers and cardboard as well, what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to put one of each socks from all of the Housemate socks onto a sock blocker, one of each type, one of each pair. Take a picture of them in the light, in the daylight, but then also I'm going to try and take a picture, maybe a bit of video of them at night time or in the dark, so you can see how they glow in the dark. That is the plan. So the only pair of these that were done with a pattern was the first pair, which was the Stephen West Painting Bricks socks pattern, and I did those back in January. After that I just did my own thing. So that was the first pair. I believe these were the second pair. Oh, there is another pair which had a pattern. I'll show you those in a minute. This was the second pair I did. The third pair I think were these. The fourth pair were these, and these are a pattern. These are the Warm Milk Socks pattern by Penny Baker. And then the fifth pair were based on a pattern that I had seen, but the pattern was toe up, so I just kind of used this idea. And then the sixth pair, this pair. So yes, they are all finished. They will be going with my daughter to university on Wednesday when she is back, and all of her housemates will be there in the next week or so joining her, and then she will give those to all of her housemates, and they've all got a pair of hand knitted socks. Yeah, this time last year I hadn't planned to do that. That was an idea that came to me in January. So I've been working on those all year really. I am pleased to get that project done. But yeah, it's been a nice project to work on as well though. So definitely had my sock mojo back this year. I did take a break. I did the first 3 pairs, started the 4th pair and kind of was like, oh, fed up of these. So I had about a couple of months where I didn't do any, and then got these last 3 pairs done. So yeah, socks and socks. So those are my 2 finished objects, 2 pairs of socks that needed to be done by this week, and they are done. Yay! The third finished object was a crochet item, and this was a granny square bag, little handbag, yeah, little tote bag, and I used a pattern by Lisa Auch, A-U-C-H, again I'll put her name below. And it was a daisy granny square bag. Now it is a free pattern on her website, and you have to scroll through lots of adverts. You can pay, it was only a few pounds, for a paid pattern version, although I am going to say that paid version wasn't perfect. There were a few mistakes in it. but it didn't have any adverts, so it was easier. And I worked on that. I had done one square before I went to Egypt, and I had finished all the pink centres and the daisy petals on all the other squares. So when I took it away with me, I had to do all the purple. So there was the purple on each square, then joining them together, and then doing the handles as well. So while we were on holiday, when we went to Egypt, in case I hadn't mentioned it was amazing, by the way. So while we were there, we did a cruise. So 7 days was actually on a ship on the Nile, and we did all of our tours from that boat with another family. They were lovely, absolutely lovely family, 2 children, their mum and grandma. And one of the children, little girl, absolutely lovely, and I decided to gift her the bag when I finished it. So part of the reason for that, anyway, I was already thinking about giving it to her anyway, thought she might like it. Her mum was very artistic and creative, and you know, they were a lovely family, and it was my birthday while we were away, and the little girl had made me a bracelet as a little birthday present. So when she gave me that, and I knew she'd made it herself, I then thought, right, okay, I'm going to give her this bag, which she was just over the moon with. So hopefully I have put up a photo of the bag in various stages. And it was a nice pattern. The mum sort of said, oh, you know, you can't gift it, you know, you've spent, you know, you've got so many memories. And I was like, yeah, I have, but it's not that special, and I'd really like to give it to her. It makes it more special. So yes, so I gave the little crochet cotton bag to little Alice. She was a real sweetie. So and her mum sent me a picture the next day of her when they'd got back to the hotel. We were staying at different hotels, and I think they were going down to the restaurant or something, and she'd got the bag over her shoulder. So that was lovely to see that she liked it and was using it. So that was my third finished item. Okay, I also said that I had got some part finished items. So I showed you last time, I showed you this, which is a pumpkin, or almost a pumpkin. And I said to you that, I think I told you, I've got a colleague at work who is getting married in October, well, beginning of November, and she's having an autumnal themed wedding. And she wanted some crocheted pumpkins to go on her wedding, on her tables as not favours, but as table decorations. So another colleague who crochets, between the two of us, we are busy crocheting the pumpkins. And the colours are these, and we're using Stylecraft Special Aran in burgundy, copper and parchment. So I've got to do 15, 5 large, 5 medium, 5 small. So this is the large one. Actually, I think it was the large one that I'd done before, but I hadn't. So this is the large one, and I've now got the stalk and leaves on it. This is the medium size one, and I've also done one of the little ones, also the stalk and leaf. So you can see the different sizes here. I have got 15 to do, and I have done 5. So, well, I haven't finished 5, but I've got 2 more of the smaller ones in these colours. So I'm just going to try and work on getting the pumpkins made. All the leaves are already done. My daughter Eloise actually crocheted the leaves for me, so they're already done. And then I just need to then finish them off. So I'm going to just try and get 2 or 3 of these done a week. Now I'm going away again this weekend. I know, so London tomorrow, and then on Friday I'm going to Edinburgh, and I'm flying to Edinburgh. And I have decided that the crochet pumpkins are the project I'm going to take with me to work on the plane and when I'm travelling. They're not terribly practical to take to finish, in respect that you have to stuff them before you finish them the last couple of rounds. But what I'm going to, I'm not going to take stuffing, and I'm not going to take lots of different colours also. I need to double check, but the large ones take a little bit of time to do. So what I'm going to do is, I just need to double check which other colours that I need to do the large ones in. I will take the yarn for just the large ones, and I will do the large ones and just crochet them to the point where you would finish stuffing them, and then cut off a long thread to finish them, so that when I get back home, all I need to do is stuff them, then do the last couple of rounds to finish them off. That's my plan, because the other things that I've got on the go that are time sensitive, if you like, are too big to take. So the pumpkins have obviously got a deadline. The pumpkins need to be done for the wedding, and I'd like to get them finished, to be honest, by the end of September. The other thing that I've got that has a deadline is a cardigan that I'm going to show you in a minute, that I'm knitting for Yarndale. But that is using chunky yarn. It's a big cardigan, and I'm using lots of different balls of wool for it, so that is not practical to take that on the plane with me. So it's going to be the crochet pumpkins are coming with me to Edinburgh. Excuse me. While I'm in Edinburgh, I am planning on going to a couple of wool shops that are up there. There's the Ginger Twist studio that I follow on Instagram. Definitely going to be going there, and I know it's a very, very teeny tiny little shop. I would try and take some pictures. I would try and take a little bit of video. Now, I know there's at least one other wool shop in Edinburgh, but I can't remember the name of it, and there might even be a third. I am actually only going to be in the city centre. I am flying. I won't have a car with me, so any wool shops I visit have got to be city centre, and I can only really visit them on the Friday, because the Saturday I'm meeting up with other people, not knitter friends. I do have other friends in my life, you know. I know. So the Saturday I'm going to be busy with other people, so the wool shopping has to be done on Friday. So I need to double check, because I think there's definitely two that I can visit, and maybe a third one. So yeah, so the pumpkins are coming along. I just don't know why I say I'll do all these things, because I've also got another project, but I'm not sure. I can probably give myself a bit more time. My neighbour, her daughter is having a baby due at the end of October, and I've promised that I will knit a cardigan for the baby. She wanted, to begin with, she was just like, oh yeah, anything, but then she'd put something on Facebook about the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and how she and her daughter really love Very Hungry Caterpillar. So I found a really cute pattern, cardigan pattern, with a Very Hungry Caterpillar on it. So that is what I'm going to knit for her, or for her grandson. But I did say I'll do it in a slightly bigger size, so I'd like to get that done. I'll probably work on it in October half term. I have 2 weeks off. I'll be packing up the advent calendars in that time, but I'll probably work on that jumper then as well, or cardigan then. Right, okay, so I mentioned the cardigan that I'm knitting for Yarndale. Now, I have nicknamed this the Funky Chunky Yarndale Cardi. My husband is calling it my coat of many colours, or Technicolor Dream Coat, because this is the pattern. And absolutely, every time I look at this pattern, I love it. Let's see. So it's a James C. Brett pattern, and it's supposed to be done in James C. Brett marble. When I bought the pattern, the shop I was in didn't have that yarn, so I just decided to buy some other chunky yarn. And I have knitted most of the back of this, and I love it. It's bright, it's bold, it's distinctive. I love it. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. If you like neutral, plain, understated, subtle, look away now. It's none of those things, is it? But it's beautiful and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to hold it a bit. Just absolutely love how these colours have worked together, actually. So what am I using? I'm using a brand called Woolcraft, which is not a brand that I was particularly familiar with, but the last few times I've been to some local knitting shops, I've come across Woolcraft a couple of times now. So I'm using Woolcraft Pebble Chunky. This one is shade 8043, and it's mostly pinks with a little bit of orange and a little bit of lilac in it. This one is shade 8016, and it's blues and grey with, again, sort of pinky purple in it. They all kind of tie in together quite well. This one is shade something 8026, and it's grey with pinky red. And then the last one is shade 8028, and it is mostly purple with a little bit of pink in it. So last time I podcast, I'd bought these and hadn't cast it on. So love these colours, and I really do like the way it's coming together, because if you look at this, you can see this is all lots of different sort of colours. So I'm quite pleased that that this has got a similar effect. So I am doing 12 rows of each of the colour and then swapping over. But as you can see, even the colours themselves have got a mixture. So it's, when I do the front and the back, I'll still do 12 rows of each, but it's not going to match up exactly, because obviously you've got different colours or different stripes of colours within. These stitch markers are where the armholes are going to be, so you can see I've already done from the bottom to the armholes, and so I've only got a few more inches to go for the back. It's knitting up really quickly because I worked on it for about 4 or 5 days maybe before we went on holiday. When we came back from holiday, I was working on the socks and pumpkins, so I only worked on this, picked this up again last night. And last night, in the space of a few hours really, I did from there to there. It took me about 3 hours to do that lot. So it is going to knit up quickly. But as you can see, I can't really take this with me to Edinburgh. It would take up the whole of my hand luggage. So, but oh, look at it, I love it. So I'm going to Yarndale, which is the weekend of the 23rd of September, 23rd, 24th or 22nd, 23rd, something around that. And I will be there for 2 days, both the Saturday and the Sunday, and one of the days I will be wearing this. So if you're going to be at Yarndale, you may well spot me if I'm walking around in that cardigan. Just hoping it'll be cool enough to wear. Okay, so that has had not a lot of work actually, but there's a lot of it done, and it hasn't taken too much time. Other thing that I've been working on was just a pair of socks. I did the market, Auch to market again on Saturday just gone. I did it in July. Last time I spoke to you, I'd just done it in July and it had rained all day. Didn't go very well in July. Did it this weekend. Yeah, weren't that many people interested in yarn. There were a few people, you know, did a few sales. So the jury is out at the moment about whether I will carry on going to that market or not. Definitely can't go in September anyway because it clashes with Yarndale. So we shall see. I'm not making a definite decision on whether I will carry on with the Auch to market or not. But anyway, this was the sock that I was working on while I was at Uttoxeter. This is the Hope Springs Eternal pattern, which is one of my patterns, and it's my yarn, All Great Neptune's Ocean, which actually there is now only one of these left in the shop, so it's been a really popular colourway. So yeah, that's the only other thing that I have been working on, I believe. I'm just looking around. I always have a quick look around to see if there's anything else. But considering, as I say, I took the 2 pairs of socks and the crochet bag on holiday with me. worked on the cardigan before we went, and pumpkins. So yeah, that's everything I've been working on. I have got a few acquisitions. So I'm trying very hard not to just buy whenever I've got the opportunity to buy yarn. I mean, to be fair, there's been a few times when I have been near yarn shops or things where I have not purchased. But there was a beautiful shop. So I went down to Devon 4 weeks ago, and there was a beautiful shop in Chard, or near Chard in Devon, called the Lace Knittery. Oh, sorry, just kicked the tripod. And I went there last year, and I went there again this year with my niece and her little girl. And let me just take these bits out because there's some other bits to show you as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, went to the Lace Knittery. Didn't have anything particular in mind to look for, but I thought I definitely would end up buying something. There's the bag, and sure enough I did. So they had some Kid Silk Haze, Rowan Kid Silk Haze, in almost like lovely fade sets, which looked really pretty, and I picked them up and I thought, oh, I really like those. However, I also reminded myself that I don't actually like Rowan Kid Silk Haze very much because it's mohair based, and I'm not very keen on mohair. So they'd also got Cumulus, which is a fibre space yarn, and it is Surrey alpaca. So instead of buying the Rowan Kid Silk Haze, I kind of put together my own little fade kit with Hannah's help, my niece. And we put together these 5. Well, how did we do it? Like this, I think. I think this is, yes. So we put together these 5 colours. And I mean, I might actually go more like that with them. So pick those 5 colours, and then I picked out this Rowan Norwegian wool in sort of a very neutrally grey colour. And my plan is to hold them together and do some kind of fade, some kind of raglan fade jumper. So don't know exactly what yet, no idea what pattern, something very simple. Holding the 2 together. This is just 100% wool, whereas this is 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% silk. What is this? I would say this is like an Aran would be my guess. Oh no, it's a DK. So holding these 2 together, it's a DK weight, and then the Surrey alpaca is whatever it is. So I think I need to do a little bit of playing around to see what kind of gauge I would get, and then find a pattern that fits that gauge. That's basically how that's going to work. So we'll see. But yeah, so very pretty little set that I put together from the Lace Knittery. Then when we were in Egypt, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to see if I could find something. I had in my head that maybe I could find some cotton yarn. I like knitting with cotton yarn anyway, and Egypt is quite famous for cotton. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything that had cotton yarn, any place that had cotton yarn. Went to a market and there was quite a lot of acrylic, quite a lot of squeaky, not very nice acrylic. But we did go into one little shop in the market where they had got, no, this is Turkish, and they had got this one, Elise, which I think you can get in the UK. And it is acrylic, but it is quite a nice, it's a softer acrylic, and I did really like the colours. And I really like buying yarn on holiday because I see it as souvenirs. So when I buying the yarn, obviously, has a memory, and then trust me, I will remember this market, because the market that we were in, there was very much a tourist area of the market, and then there was the local area of the market, and this was in the local area. And somebody helped us. I'm going to be honest, I'll tell you this story. So as we were going to this market, we were walking from the boat to the market, and it was about a mile walk. And we stuck out like sore thumbs because most tourists didn't walk anywhere. Most tourists got taken by minibus to places, or little horse and cart or whatever. And we were walking, and we obviously stuck out like a sore thumb. And this young lad went past us and said, hi, and everybody in Egypt was really, really friendly. So that in itself was like, so we said, oh, hi, and then he sort of turned back, and he said, oh, I'm not just randomly saying hi, I'm on your boat. I work on your boat. And we went, oh, all right. And he said, yeah, it's my day off, I've got some downtime. Went, oh, okay. And he said, oh, where do you want to go? And we said, oh, wanted to try and find this wool shop, and I showed him on my phone. He's like, oh yeah, I know where that is, I can take you, I can show you. Now what it turns out is, I don't think he worked on our boat at all, and he did take us to some shops that sold wool, and he took us to 3 or 4, and then he wanted to take us to a shop to buy other things, and basically he was just trying to get us to go to his mate's shop where they get a bit of a kickback, whatever. But anyway, in the meantime, he did take us to lots of shops, or lots of little market stalls with wool. And it was really useful because he, what's the word I want? Translated for me. So I paid Egyptian prices because, oh my goodness me, when they know you're a tourist, they just up the price by about, I'm not kidding, by like 10 times the amount. But I paid Egyptian prices for this. Or even if they did put on a bit of a premium, it was still very cheap. So anyway, so I bought these two. They are the same colourway, just different at different stages. And I also bought these two, they're a little bit of a mess. Also Elise, also acrylic. These are obviously 4-ply, and these are more like an Aran weight. I can't remember how much it was, something like 300 Egyptian pounds, which is less than £10. It was 270 Egyptian pounds. I think so. What did I work it out to be? About £7 or £8. 600 would be £7.50, so maybe £9 for the 4 bottles. And so I gave him 300 Egyptian pounds, and he didn't have change. So instead of giving me change, I got these two little, like almost like you'd use these for, like friendship bracelets. So I'm going to give these to my daughter, so she can have these. So that was my change, my 30 Egyptian pounds change, which would be about, I don't know, 50p. So yeah, really like these. I'm thinking of maybe doing a crochet shawl of some sort or something with it. Don't know. So yes, nice to get something. Like I say, even though the origin of the yarn isn't from Egypt, I will have the memory of that little market, which was a bit crazy, and this young lad taking us around. And it was so funny because afterwards he was like, oh, don't you come to my uncle's spice shop, come to my uncle's spice shop. And that's when I kind of clicked. I was like, hang on a minute, it's a bit of a coincidence that his uncle's got a spice shop here. And my husband and I, we were still thinking he was from our boat. And then actually as we walked back, I said to my husband, and we didn't buy anything from the spice shop either, because then he was like, oh, I've got another, or my granddad's got a silver shop, come to my granddad's silver shop. We were like, no, thank you. I said to my husband, I said, do you know what? He might not work on our boat. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, he never said the name of the boat, did he? He just said, I work on your boat. And we were like, oh yeah. And I said, and he said that he didn't have any friends or family here, so he'd got plenty of time to show us to places. I said, and then 10 minutes later, his uncle lived here and his granddad lived here. And I was like, no. I said, I don't even think he worked on our boat. And they're really, really smooth at getting you to go into their shops, and to try and sell you stuff. So yes, I think that was probably, I'm 99% certain that lad did not work on our boat, and it was just a ruse to get us to, but he did take us to a place which sold yarn. He didn't take us anywhere dodgy, and obviously if there had been anything, you know, slightly dodgy, then I would, you know, we were smart enough, we'd been into that market already anyway, so. But yeah, they're very, very smooth at trying to sell you things in Egypt, I would say that's for sure. And they don't give up, they really persevere. But anyway, right, I think I have rambled for long enough. What else can I tell you, really? Go back to work next week. I am not ready to go back to work. So much really that I need to get sorted and done. Advent calendars, I've done quite a lot of the dyeing for the advents, but so over the next few weeks I still need to finish dyeing the rest of the colours, and then there's all the packaging of them, and that's quite time consuming. And I've actually sold this year, I've sold double the amount that I sold last year. And it took a couple of days to pack up what I did last year, so I need to allow 4 or 5 days for packing up the advents this year. Crazy. But so thank you if you've ordered one. They are sold out, so there are no more to buy. Having said that, I have done a couple of spares, so once they have been posted and I know everybody has received theirs, it is possible that there will be a couple that I can still sell. But obviously I'm keeping those in case there's any issues with delivery or anything awful like that. Fingers crossed not, never has been in the past, but I thought this year I would take a little bit of precaution on that. Right, I think that is all I have got to tell you and show you. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to get back into the habit. Oh, no, bit of life news. Youngest daughter, who was busy doing her A-levels this year. We had her A-level results, or she had her A-level results while we were in Egypt. She wasn't in Egypt, she was here. And yes, she is off to university. So that is amazing. So we have been to visit where she's going. We have been to visit her accommodation. I tell you what, university accommodation is not like it was in my day. When I compare what I was in to what she's got, her halls. Anyway, amazing. So yeah, she will be going off in about 3 weeks' time. So that is really exciting. So it does mean that the husband and I are going to be empty nesters. Both the daughters will be away at university. And in fact, I'm going to have a week in the house completely by myself, because before she goes to university, my husband and her are going to go and have a quick week's holiday as well when I'm back at work. So I'm going to have a week where I'm going to have the house to myself, which I'm kind of having mixed feelings about, actually. On the one hand, that sounds quite nice to have the house to myself, but I don't think I've ever been in this house by myself for a whole week. We moved into this house when we first got married. So we've been in this house 27 years. We didn't have children straight away. I know that my husband perhaps might have gone away for a weekend, but I don't think, no, in fact I know I'll never have been in this house by myself for a week, so that's going to be a bit strange. I'll be at work anyway, but I think what's going to be weird is I've got to remember to get home in time to sort the dog out, make sure the dog goes out in the morning, and yeah, that's going to be really strange. But lots of knitting time, maybe less knitting time though, because the husband does all the cooking and everything usually. Anyway, enough of my rambles. I will hopefully see you in about 2 weeks time, because yeah, what's the date today? If it's 28th, yeah, I should be able to podcast in 2 weeks without any hassle. And who knows, maybe the funky chunky Yarndale Cardi might be finished by then. 2 weeks time, you never know. And then maybe I could start looking at some of the other whips. I do need to not cast on anything new for a while. You know, at the beginning of the year, how I was trying to clear my whips? I started at the beginning of the year with 16 whips. I got down to about 9 or 10. I think I'm back to 16 again. Don't send the knitting police this way, will you? Alright, lovely to see you all. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon. Bye.